Bobby Vala's Valafair happened last weekend, and I needed a day or two to think about all the reveals and all the information he gave us. Today is a day to talk about it, so come along and let's discuss Valafair 2023. Hey, this is Mike from Junkyard Crafts and Builds. And like I said, Valafair happened last weekend and it was huge. We had tons of reveals given over the 3 days. I started out with Action Force really the end of last year. And since then, there has been nothing but delivery after delivery of figures that I picked up from Valaverse.com. I did get some aftermarket stuff because there are just some things you can't get anymore. I just have been sucking up this universe because it's really kicking in some nostalgia that I had when I was younger. And you know, I'm an 80s kid, so G.I. Joe, He-Man, I was eating it all up. The excitement was there. Now I want to share my thoughts with you. So we'll start with day one. Bobby came on with the ever-present white potato laser pants, and he had a special guest with Articulated Ninja. I know I'm speaking to the choir here. If you've seen anything Articulated Ninja's put out, his videos are really cool, really informative, and he's honest about stuff. There's things he's liked, there's things he hasn't liked. Some things I agree with him on, and other ones I don't, and that's okay. That's the point of the opinion. And Bobby came right out and provided us updates on new figures that are going to be out here in the spring. And he started with 2 more female army builders, the Desert and the Riot figures. So these troopers are pretty much identical in color to the original, the male versions. And he provided us images of everything that's going to come with them, which is the same as, their male counterparts. And then he revealed a new core character for Action Force. And her name is Gemini. So Gemini, as Bobby was explaining, was a character that he created, and with transparency, this should have been the Danielle Kelly figure, and she looks really cool. Another very emotive face. The pigtails are kind of neat. They're definitely different. The tattoo in the back of her neck, sharp, just like Pandora's. She comes with a lot of the standard gear we've seen. He said that she'll be available in the spring. Next, he talked about upgrades. And he started off with our favorite, Eclipse. So Eclipse now has a new emotive face, and it's awesome looking. She's got a new vest, and she has new weapons, including her pistol that has the slide open. And we see that there are new blast effects in regards to, and he continued on with kill switches upgrade pack. Now, her main thing is that she comes with this new Barrett sniper rifle with its own really awesome blast effect, and the magazine that can slide out from that weapon has a painted bullet. It's got 2 types of bipod legs, blade legs for when you're ready to take your shot, and also a close set, so if you're holding the weapon, those bipod legs are up against the body of the weapon. She also comes out with the slide handgun, and she also has a helmet for her alternate head. Finally, he teased an image of Pandora, and man, everyone was starting to go nuts when he showed the image of her upgrade pack. The new vest is awesome, and the black and red color scheme really pops on the character. He discussed her firm image, which is the grinning demon, I believe is what he said. Just really, really cool. And, you know, she comes with this big ass machete. It's just it was just nice to see. It was really cool. And then he went and teased us even more by saying that there's a bloody variant of her head that's going to be available in one of 3 packages. So you know that when that upgrade kit comes up for sale, it's going to go quick because everyone is going to try their damnedest to get that alternate head, myself included. So those upgrade kits were just awesome. But then he talked about more weapons. And we already know that Valaverse has been nothing but weapons from the jump, including the 4 weapon packs that they've released so far, and the Crimson Shadow tin, which had like 90 some weapons in. I mean, it's insane. I have it sitting here next to me, and I still haven't messed with all the weapons yet. So he showed us 3 new weapon packs that are coming out: Echo, Foxtrot, and Golf. So looking at these, all these were new weapons. The blast effects, the smoke effects are all included in each one. Echo also had a Marlin Dart rifle, which he talked about, and it looks really cool. Then he went to Foxtrot. Foxtrot had another one of the Barretts that Killswitch is getting in her upgrade kit, the machete, and all the handguns. And he said that those weapons and the color schemes were all identical to previous weapon packs. And then finally, we had Golf. And Golf is the big mamma jamma because it has a minigun. Yes, a minigun in the weapon pack with its own blast effect. It has a weapon belt. It has printed bullets, the shells being discharged. I mean, it just looks badass. But those are going to be available in the spring, he said. Finally, we close out day 1 with a JoeFest exclusive. And it was something that he had teased on social media earlier. And that turned out to be Warpath Eclipse. My jaw dropped when I saw this figure. She looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. I instantly won her. It solidified the fact that I need to go to JoeFest. The face sculpt is this Emotive one that's in the upgrade kit for Eclipse. And it just has this really, really awesome black war paint across her eyes. The Shimurk alternate head just looks awesome. There's nothing I can't say that will do it justice right now. The huge tattoo on her right arm that goes down to her forearm, exquisite looking. He had a sample that he showed everyone. It was just really, really cool. So that was the end of day 1, but it's not over yet. So let's go ahead and discuss day 2. Day 2 of Valafair was split up between 2 presentations. The first one, Bobby had another guest on, and that was Mike French, aka Retro Blasting. Bobby started out talking about a trade paperback of all the Mission File comics that are printed to date. He didn't say when it's going to be available yet. I don't know if it's going to be available digitally. I hope so. Bobby then moved on to talk about the Special Deployment series. And that has been his little area to put reissues them. He started talking about reissuing the villains from Series 1, Bone Collector, and Carrick. So, again, these are guys I've been trying to get in the aftermarket, and it's been next to impossible. They're going for like crazy money. He did say with Bone Collector and Carrick that there were minor changes that he made cosmetically. Michael French did press with him and ask if there were the improvements that were fixed in Series 2 and Series 3, and Bobby said yes. So he wasn't done there. Not only we had the villains, we had to reissue the leader of Action Force, Condor. Condor, he said there weren't many changes at all given to him other than, I think, resizing of the Action Force logo on his vest. So all those figures will be available sometime here in 2023, And again, I can't wait. I need Bone Collector and Carrick in my collection now. So then he continued on with discussing the Desert Guard, which is another male army builder in the same color scheme that Desert Rat is in now. And there's an associated gear pack, and that has most the same weapons that we've seen with the previous packs. Instead of a backpack, this figure carries a satchel, an updated helmet, all sorts of cool stuff. So that's really nice to see as well. Then we rolled into more head sculpts. And he started with showing an angry Condor new head sculpt. Something in Condor's expression that he's really pissed off about it. And then that continued into an angry Trigger face. And that when you look at it and you see the tongue and the teeth coming out, it's a little nerve-wracking to say the least. You know, he still has his iconic sunglasses and ball cap on. Then we rolled into new characters and new head sculpts, starting with Buddha. Buddha's a Japanese character that Bobby's creating. That's going to be part of a future wave. Looks really cool. He then continued on with Sidewinder. Sidewinder is a Hispanic character, and he gave a little bit of the backstory, saying that Sidewinder actually started out in New Colonia, and somewhere along in his story, he became a little disillusioned with what was going on and defected to Action Force. So I'm really curious to see what his story is going to be about. Then he continued on with another character called Atlas. And everyone was really, really interested in seeing what was going to go on with this character. Then he continued on with two new Army Builder sculpts. One was a gas mask, which is looking really cool. It's not a helmet. It's an all new head that you can put on your Army Builders. He wasn't saying about the color yet, but he said that there might be a pack that has multiple colors on for the helmet portion. Later on in day 3, he said he was talking things through with Desert Rat, and noted that the renders show 2 filters on the front of the mask. And when you're actually in the field to look down the sights of your weapon, you don't have 2 filters on because it will inhibit your field of view. So Bobby said that the filters are going to be separate pieces that can be attached or detached either side to fit your customization of your figure. So that's really, really cool. And that's just, like I said, that's just the transparency and the kind of organic thought process that happens. He did finally finish off with an Arctic balaclava head. Looks really cool. Arctic is a little niche for my taste, but again, he said, kind of like with the gas mask, there could be alternate uses for this. It has goggles on. Still looks like it's going to be able to hold or wear a helmet that's with the gear packs. And it doesn't inhibit the placement of the helmet with the goggles. So that's really cool stuff. Love it. Can't wait to see it. Then he brought up a new villain. The name of Lieutenant Hyun. He said she is a Korean figure, and she is pure evil. That's all he would say about it. So then he kind of closed things off for that. But he also talked about how Valaverse just finished talks to be able to create figures for this new IP. And he went ahead and was showing the contract on the screen and literally signed it during the stream. Didn't say what the license, what figures will come out. He just said that it had a large library. The second stream was on the 3POA podcast. In that podcast, he brought up the next new reveal, and that was ghillie suits. He's going to be making soft good ghillie suits between in 2023 or in 2024. He's still going through the process with things. But it looks cool. Very much a shell. It's got elastic bands around the legs and arms and bringing around the body. I don't know. I mean, people were blowing up about it. I can take it or leave it. It's neat. We'll see. But he ended that stream, and that closed out day 2. But we have one more day and a lot more reveals to talk about. So, day 3 of Valafair started at 8:30 that night. And to say after 3 days of streams and reveals that everyone was a little tired was an understatement. So much so that Tony accidentally revealed another JoeFest exclusive. And this one is, it's very niche and interesting. But it is a 3 3/4. It's very limited quantities. Or 1,500 carded and 1,500 open figures. Bobby started off after that with discussing 2024. And a lot of the figures that we talked about yesterday, he showed the entire renders. And we started out with Buddha. Buddha's got a new looking body in regards to the upper shirt that he wears. It's got these kind of expanded pockets on the forearms, new type of boots, really cool looking. And then he moved into the next figure, which was Sidewinder. Sidewinder, again, looks cool. It's just, when you look at renders, yeah, you can get excited because they're new characters, but I want to see more of the samples. I want to see what things are going to look like. And, you can swap the heads out on all these. The bodies are cool looking. All right, that they are what they are. We know that there's going to be commonality with any future releases that use these bucks. But then he brought in Atlas. And Atlas is the body that another body he teased on social media. And this is using a larger body buck. It's a bulkier, much more muscular figure. And it looks really neat. I mean, he's definitely got some size. Bobby showed a size comparison. And he explained that while Atlas is a bigger body, it's only a 1/4 of an inch or taller, I should say. He showed Sidewinder and Buddha being 6 1/4 inches tall. Atlas is going to be 6.5 inches tall. And then he started talking about a figure that has been discussed in a couple of file cards, and that figure was revealed to be Colonel Siege, the actual leader of Action Force. That was a really cool render. The head's really nicely sculpted. He's got a cigar. He's got a hand that has a cigar molded into it. It looks very much like the Old West type of guy. He's got dual holsters that have a new way of attaching to the belt, where if you flex the leg or bring the leg up or around, they're not going to bunch up or anything like that. So that's really cool. Then he continued on with another video tease, and this one was a little bit about the use of action points. You didn't really see too much. It was really just a voiceover from Condor giving a mission report to Colonel Siege, and then he started talking about the cartels. And then you see this image of a slow roll up on a figure that has an open shirt, blue undershirt, and a pair of glasses. Then it fades out and just shows a whole bunch of action points. Then he went all in on updating everyone to the Vanguard. Now, if you don't know what the Vanguard is, that is the Action Force vehicle that he's been working on. And he said at the time of the stream that he was going to have the sample in hand, and that would help him figure out what the price of this vehicle would be. But he started out showing us how many figures can a person get into this vehicle. With a default weapon mount on top of the vehicle, you can get 6 figures. And then he expanded on it by saying that there are going to be weapon mods that are thought of for this vehicle as well. He showed some pictures of the interior. He talked about the doors and how they will fold out completely open, and he was inspired from a Hasbro release of the Ecto 1. Then he closed out with, I think, the real showstopper for the stream. It really, really was cool. It is the Crimson Shadow Technologies. I'm going to butcher this, but I think it's the Praetorian. So it is a cybernetic or android figure, and it just looks. I mean, it's full sci-fi. One of the cool things that was part of the reveal is that this figure has the ability to project deflecting shields, if you want to call it that much, that can attach to the body. And there are special effects parts that show like ricochets bouncing off these like shields. Has a big ass blade. Just looked really badass. Everyone was super excited about it, and I think that's the talk of the fair was this new figure. Again, hopefully 2024 we'll see this. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff, a lot of excitement about this year and next year. So I'm hoping to get down there, shake their hands, take some pictures, and buy a bunch of shit. That's the rundown of everything from Valafair. So hopefully this information is not new at this point. But I just want to give you my thoughts. If you're in the Action Force and all these other independent companies and brands that are coming out, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, I'm in on that. Savage Crucible, I'm down with that. All these really cool companies are coming out and really showcasing where the big companies, I'm not going to mention who, I'm not saying that what they produce is bad. It's just these new companies like Action Force, like AWOC, they're coming out and they're swinging. So that's your choice. Your wallet, you speak with what you want. But yeah, I enjoyed Valafair. Again, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.